We'll start with the new topic called bank reconciliation statement, and in this we will be talking about what is the meaning of a bank passbook, what is a reconciliation statement, what is the importance of this statement, what are the reasons for differences between the bank statement and the balance in the cash book, and how to reconcile both the accounts. So, as we know, bank passbook is nothing but a statement of account of the bank account of the customer issued by the bank periodically. Normally it could be in the form of a statement of account, or it could be in the form of a book known as a passbook. So that statement of account contains details of deposits and withdrawals made by the customer during a particular period. Normally it is done on a monthly basis, and it also contains different debits or credits raised by the bank on account of income and expenses debited or credited to that account, and this needs to be tallied with the balance in the cash book of the customer's books, so that what is reflected in his cash book is actually corresponding with the balance in the bank account maintained by the customer with the bank. And normally there are bound to be differences between the two balances on account of many reasons. We will try to understand as to why there should be differences and what are the different causes which give rise to this difference between the two balances. Ideally speaking, there should be no difference between the balance shown by the passbook and the cash book, but normally we find that there is always a difference between the books because of certain reasons, and since there is a difference, we need to reconcile both of them. That means we have to find out whether what is the reason for these differences, and whether it is on account of certain errors or on account of certain factors, that we have to find out, and then a statement has to be prepared periodically, which is known as the bank reconciliation statement. So a bank reconciliation statement is nothing but a statement where we try to reconcile the balance as shown in the passbook and the balance as per our cash book, that is the cash book of the customer. So why it is important? Let us understand the reasons for the reconciliation statement being very important. This is an important tool for internal control of cash flows. That means once we know what is the balance, then the management can decide as to what can be done with the cash inflows and outflows. For example, the balance in the cash book may be high, but the actual balance in the bank account may be low, in which case you cannot issue further checks, or if the checks are issued, the checks are likely to be bounced back. So it should always be necessary for the entity to reconcile both the balances, and there could be a lot of errors, frauds and irregularities that may have occurred at the time of passing entries in the cash book or in the bank, whether intentional or not. There could be some intentional errors or some unintentional errors, or there could be frauds committed by either the bank staff or the staff at the customer's place. Therefore, it is necessary that these are reconciled, so that these kind of errors and frauds can be brought to light immediately. So therefore, it becomes an important mechanism of internal control. And once you do the reconciliation, you will also come to know as to what are the checks which have not been cleared by the bank, and then you can take steps to ensure that the checks which have been deposited by the customer are cleared on time. You can also find out as to what are the checks which have already been issued by the customer but not encashed. Then we can find out the reasons for such non-encashment of checks, and there could be reasons such as certain debits raised by the bank either correctly or incorrectly. So if you reconcile, you will come to know as to what are the debits raised by the bank in your account, so that the matter can be taken up with the bank. Therefore, it becomes imperative that customer reconcile his balance in the cash book with the bank passbook periodically. Normally this is done on a monthly basis, and most of the banks also send the statement of accounts on a monthly basis. So this has to be done periodically, so that all these things can be detected on time. So now let us understand what are the causes for the differences between the balance in the cash book and the balance in the passbook. It can be for two reasons. These are known as timing differences and differences arising due to errors in recording the entries. So these are the two main causes. Let us understand the meaning of these differences. Timing differences means differences because the entries are recorded in the bank book, in the bank account and the cash book at different points of time, and because of this, if you are reconciling at a particular point of time, certain entries may have been put through in the cash book but not in the bank passbook, and vice versa. That means certain entries must have been put through in the bank passbook but not in the cash book, and because of this timing difference there could be difference. And why these timing differences occur? They could offer on account of the following factors. One is checks issued but not yet presented for payment. So what happens here, whenever checks are issued by the entity debits the amount, the entity credits the amount in its cash book. That means bank account is credited by the entity as soon as the check is issued. But in the case of a bank will debit the customer's account only when the check is presented for payment. Check could take 10 days before it is actually presented, or it could be any number of days. There is always a time lag between the date of issue of check and the actual realization of the check by the person to whom the check has been issued. Same thing happens when the entity deposits checks in the bank. Banks take certain time to credit the amount to the customer's account. But in the meantime, what happens? The customer would have already recorded that transaction in his book. So there will always be a time lag between the check deposit and the actual realization of the check and credit of that amount in the customer's account. Similarly, interest allowed by bank. Whenever bank gives interest, that is credits interest to the customer's account, it will not get reflected in the cash book immediately, because the customer will take it into account only when he gives an intimation of the credit of the interest amount to his account. Only on receiving that intimation he will pass the entry. So there is again a time lag. Same thing happens whenever bank debits the customer's account with interest or any other charges, and the customer will come to know only at a later date, and then the customer will record those transactions in his cash book. Similarly, bank may be collecting certain dividends and interest payments on behalf of the customers from different entities. For example, if the customer has certain government securities or fixed deposits invested elsewhere, and he has asked the bank to collect interest periodically, on the basis of this the bank will collect and credit the customer's account and then send the intimation, then only the customer will record these transactions in his cash book. So again there is a time lag between what the bank has put through and what the customer will be putting through at a later date. Similarly, direct payments to the bank. Certain times, based on the standing instructions given by the customer, bank may make certain payments direct to certain entities, in which case it will debit all the amounts whenever it makes payment and intimate the customer, on the receipt of which the customer will pass entries in his cash book. Similarly, direct payment into the bank by a customer. In the current era, when customers are asked to credit the amounts direct to the entity's account, then there could be direct receipts into the bank account whenever it is deposited by a customer of the entity. So the entity will come to know of it only at a later date, after which it will pass the entries. Similarly, dishonor of bills discounted by the bank. Whenever there is a dishonor of the bill, then the bank will debit the customer's account and thereafter intimate the customer. On receipt of that intimation, the customer will take it into his cash book. And similarly, in the case of bills collected by the bank, the credit entry in the customer's account will be first done by the bank, thereafter it will be taken into the cash book by the entity. Because of all these reasons, there could be timing differences between the date on which the entry is put through in the bank and the date on which the entry is put through in the cash book. And there could be differences arising on account of errors. Errors can happen at the bank level or errors can happen at the entity level. So, in the case an error may be committed by the bank or by the staff of the customer while posting the cash book. These errors could be omission of entry, that means certain entries may not be posted at all, and or wrong recording of the amount or recording of an entry on the wrong side of the cash book, wrong totaling, wrong balancing. So, whatever we consider in the case of rectification of errors, all such errors can happen either at the bank level or at the customer's level. So, in which case also we need to find out as to where the error has occurred and then that entry has to be rectified. So, reconciliation will help us in trying to find out as to whether there are any errors committed in recording at either of the sides. So, for this purpose we need to reconcile both the accounts, and for that we have to follow the following procedure. Procedure for reconciliation is as under. One is note the debit balance as per cash book and the credit balance as per cash book. That means first of all you have to understand that there is a debit balance in the cash book, means there is a credit balance in the bank account, because bank is maintaining the account on behalf of the customer. So, whenever there is an extra cash, that is in the credit balance, but in the entity's books it is recorded as a debit balance, because debit balance is an asset of the entity. So, if it is 100 rupees credit in the bank account, it means 100 rupees debit in the cash book. So, this should not be confused. Second step is to identify the entries which appear in the cash book. That means these entries have already been taken note of by the entity, but do not appear in the passbook. That means we need to pass these entries in the passbook. That means bank is yet to take these account entries in their books. Similarly, certain entries which may be appearing in the passbook but not appearing in the cash book. That means all these entries have to be taken by the entity in its cash book. So, then the third step is to start either on the basis of the balance in the cash book as the base or the balance in the passbook as the base. So, you can either start with balance in the cash book and go on to find out what should have been the balance in the bank passbook, or start with the bank passbook balance and go on to find out what should have been the balance in the cash book. Either way it can be taken. So, if you start with one end, then you should know what amounts have to be added or subtracted from the balance to arrive at the other balance. So, let us see how this can be done. Let us take some example. For example, we are starting with the bank's passbook as the account. Then we have to come to the bank's, the entity's cash book. So, in which case whatever has already been taken by the bank but not taken by the cash book needs to be reduced, because that would have reduced the balance in the bank passbook. And whatever is taken by the entity but not in the by the customer has to be added if it is going to add to the balance, and vice versa. If it is going to reduce the balance, that has to be subtracted. For example, all checks issued by the entity but not encashed is one area, or all checks deposited by the entity but not yet realized by the bank. So, in either case the effect will be opposite. So, either you add or subtract depending on where you are starting your base. This is how you go and then try to arrive at the other step. So, this reconciliation, as I say, is very important in order to find out the mistakes, in order to find out the delays in giving, in realization of checks or in payment of checks, so that the entity will come to know as to what should have been the balance as per the passbook. Thereafter, it can take that step and decide as to whether further checks can be issued, or if there are any incorrect entries, they can be reconciled. With this, we come to the end of this session.